I'm going to ask you guys some questions. And if there's no need, then it's not going to make a recommendation. But if there is a need, then I'll review the recommendations with you. Okay? So Mary, what is your date of birth?
July 29th, 1972.
July 29th, you said 1972.
Yes.
Okay. And children, those boys, those beautiful boys that you have, from the oldest to the youngest, what's their names? What's the oldest name?
Gregory.
Gregory. Same last name?
Yes.
And what's Gregory's date of birth?
11/16/2011.
And the next one? Who's your youngest name?
Colin Curry. Oh,
All right. And what's Colin's date of birth?
10/20. I'm sorry, 10/10. 2014.
2014. Awesome. Now these questions that I have for you guys that I'm about to ask are going to be for the entire family. Okay?
Okay.
So has anyone in the household ever had internal cancer in the past 2 years? Breast cancer, colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, uterine cancer?
No.
Anyone in the household has insulin diabetes?
No.
Cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, peripheral vascular disease?
No.
Currently using oxygen, like the tanks that you have to hook up?
No.
Terminal illness?
No.
Alzheimer's?
No.
Have you ever anyone in the household used tobacco or nicotine products in the last 12 months?
No.
And Joe, what would you say that your take-home pay is?
4,200 a month.
4,200 a month. And Mary, you don't work, but do you have anything coming in from the outside sources?
No, not right now.
Okay. And Joe, you have any insurance currently at your job?
Yes.
How much?
$100,000 policy.
Okay. And what about outside your job? Do you guys have anything that you're currently paying?
No.
No. Alrighty. And you said that you own this home. About how much would you say that you still owe on this home?
100,000.
And what about children's education? You guys have anything saved for their college funds?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay. And currently, are you guys using a traditional bank or a credit union?
Bank.
Okay. And you have checking and savings at that bank?
Just checking.
Just checking. All right. Let's let this do its thing. You guys got any plans for the weekend?
No, I don't think so. We just kind of go as the day goes.
That happens when you have little humans at home.
Exactly.
All right. Now, guys, this is our mandatory read-off letter. Kind of explains the enrollment process. But instead of me reading this whole thing to you, Let me go ahead and summarize it for you. What it's basically saying is, as I'm going over these benefits, you're nodding your head thinking to yourself, wow, these are some really great benefits. I can see why they approved it and why everybody's doing this. Then go ahead and apply today while I'm out here.
Okay.
Now, on the flip side, if I'm going through these benefits and you're thinking to yourself, these are some really great benefits, but I don't really see that it feels a need for me and my family, but I'm actually going to ask you not to apply.
Okay.
Either way, yes or no, the decision does need to be made today while I'm out here, in fairness to all the other people that are waiting to enroll in this program.
Okay.
Now, they can do it this way because it's been checked, rechecked, and approved by over 20,000 different groups that have set this up to be a no-brainer for their members. So it's an easy yes or no. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Whatever you do decide, they still want your opinion on this officer report form, which is sort of like my report card. So it's important that you guys listen and ask questions. Joe, do you promise me you're gonna stop me if you have any questions?
Yes.
And Mary, you too?
Yes.
Now, while I get over here to get this information set up for us, if you could go ahead and send those people a text message that we're sponsoring into the no cost benefits, just send them all a text message and let them know that I'll be reaching out to them tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Now, guys, I'm gonna go over your list of concerns, and we're gonna do this with an illustration, okay?
Okay.
Now, let's say you go into work tomorrow, Joe, and your current benefits right now, you say you make $4,200 a month.
Yes.
So that breaks down to about $1,050 a week.
Correct.
That's your current job. We're gonna call that job A.
Okay.
Now, let's say your job A, you get your normal group benefits, okay?
Okay.
Now, let's say you go in tomorrow and another job opens up. We're gonna call that job B.
Okay.
Now with job B, you got your same group benefits, you can work with the same people, you got the same responsibilities. You're doing this, pretty much doing the same thing. But with job B, you're making $1,020 a week, or about 1 hour's wage difference, which, like you said, it's not really that big of a deal at all. But with that 1 hour, it's going to eliminate all your concerns.
How?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The first concern has to do with your funeral and final expenses. There's a 100% chance that your family's going to need this. And I'll let this video explain.
The warmth of family is one of the most beautiful and valued things in life. For this reason, saying goodbye to a loved one can be difficult. And even more so when we are not prepared. The emotional distress adds to the financial burden. It can be devastating to lose the family savings or even the family inheritance. The average cost of a funeral continues to rise, and these expenses can be higher depending on where you live. Expenses become even more overwhelming when you consider that Social Security only pays a $255 death benefit, and that's if you qualify. That still leaves all of the expenses for your family to cover. The last thing we want is to leave our loved ones in this kind of situation when we perish, isn't it? That's why it is important to anticipate for future events with preparation. Otherwise, who would be responsible for those unforeseen and sometimes escalating expenses that
So that's pretty awesome, right?
Yes.
Now, American Income is going to provide you guys with $15,000 for this benefit. They're using the freedom of choice to take care of this burden for you and your family. Now, this freedom of choice certificate right here is what it was describing in the video. It's real simple, real easy. There is no face amount on here. This is exclusive to American Income. Okay? What's going to happen is once you guys pass, your beneficiary is going to take this certificate to the funeral home themselves. They're going to negotiate the funeral, put the negotiated amount here, sign there, and American Income takes care of the rest. Now, they're using whole life insurance to fund your freedom of choice so that that money is there when, not if, you have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also there to protect any existing insurance and any savings that your beneficiaries may have.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, with your current job, you don't have that. Now, Mary, when Joe dies, you're going to miss him. But after a few weeks go by, you'll be missing his paycheck too. So American Income is going to provide $180,000 when that happens. Mary, for you and the kids, that will be $3,000 for 60 months to replace Joe's income. Now, this will be reviewed, renewed, and updated every 10 years. Mary, having 5 years of income at that time will be huge, right?
Yes.
Now, aside from income, the next thing that people want to protect is their home. So American Income is going to provide $100,000 for this benefit. Now, Joe, if you were to die during your working years, it's probably be due to an accident, right? So American Income is using an accidental death benefit to fund this to give you the most value. Okay? Now, the next benefit, next concern that people have is their children's education. American Income, if you were to die in an accident, American Income is going to provide $100,000 or $50,000 for each of your 2 children. This will be set up to give them a head start in life. Right now, at your current job, you don't have this. Also included is, in this benefit, is a $10,000 life insurance plan for each of your children, 18 years or younger, that qualify. Now, this, they can actually convert once they turn 21 to 5 times that amount, or $50,000 of permanent insurance with no health questions. Your kids will actually thank you for having the foresight to set that up for them. Now, the next benefit has to do with some income concerns if you're in an accident or an injury. American Income, if you were to go in for a bump, bruise, or bee sting any type of accident or injury, American Income is going to provide up to $100. And if you were to stay overnight in the hospital, then you get $200 per day. And if you're in ICU, it actually doubles to $400 per day. Now, Joe, let me ask you this. If you're in a hospital, what are you not doing?
Working.
And if you're not working, what are you not making?
Money.
Do the bills still come in?
Yes.
With this benefit, if you're hurt or injured on or off the job, and you're in the hospital for 5 days, then you will make $1,000. You get paid $1,000 from this benefit. At your job, all you get is the income loss and bills still coming in.
Correct.
Now, in addition to that, this benefit also provides $10,000 for the loss of one leg, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 hand, or the sight in one eye. And double that, or $20,000 for the loss of any two. Right now at your current job, you don't get any of these benefits. Now, if you were to die in an accident, if you were to die unexpectedly, it would catch your family off guard. So, to counteract that happening, American Income is going to provide anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 that pays out immediately, depending on the type of accident. Now, this is set up to protect both of you. So both of you are covered. Right now at your current job, you don't have that. The next benefit has to do with some terminal illness, especially cancer. Okay? If you were to be diagnosed with a terminal illness like cancer, then American Income you will be able to get access to half of your freedom of choice and your income protection. Now, Joe, the other half will actually be paid out to your family. Now, Joe, for you, that will be $97,500. And Mary, for you, that will be $34,500 to put your family in the best financial position while you're still alive before you do die. The other half will be paid out to your beneficiaries. Right now at your current job, you don't have any of that. Now, American Income has been around for almost 70 years. And unlike your group benefits, these benefits are permanent and portable. So you can't lose these benefits. In addition to that, if you were in a qualified layoff, American Income will pay these benefits for up to 3 months for you. And if you happen to be involved in a strike, these benefits will be covered for up to 12 months. So you don't lose them. Now, Joe, if you went into work tomorrow and you had a choice between job A and job B, which one would you choose?
Job B.
Why would you do that if you're making more money over here?
Because of the benefits.
That's what everyone says. They've set this up to be a no-brainer. Now, what I've just went over with you guys is what the benefit software suggests as the basic package to cover your concerns. Now, there is one more option you can choose from if you qualify. It's recommended that you move your freedom of choice up to a preferred freedom of choice package of $31,000 to protect your family from some inflation increases, excuse me. Now, this inflation increase will only be a difference of $12 per week. So do you want to go with the basic package of $30 a week or about 1 hour's a wage income? Or do you want to move to the preferred package and give your family a little bit more protection? Get the inflation protection built in for $42 a week.
I can't afford that.
I can understand what you mean. It's difficult nowadays to make ends meet. Seems like every time that we just about to get caught up, another bill comes up, put us right back in the hole.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, over the years, every time something did come up, you were always able to make the necessary adjustments to keep food on the table and heat on in the winter for your family. A lot of families take us for granted. But you're the man that gets up every day, goes to work, makes the money, puts food on the table, and make the ends meet. The only thing that could prevent that from happening is if you weren't here anymore. All of a sudden, that income that we take for granted is cut off forever. And that's the decision that you can make right now that your family wouldn't possibly be able to make. Now, sure, this $30 a week is another adjustment to make. But just think of it as Uncle Sam just increasing your taxes. But you're here right now, and you can make that decision to prevent your wife and your family from being faced with a decision that they couldn't possibly make. So do we want to go ahead and go with this $30 a week, or do we need to make some adjustments?
The $30 is fine.
Okay. Now, I'm not the underwriter. And like I said, you do need to qualify for these benefits. So I need to ask you some questions just to see where you're at, okay?
Okay.
Now, has any of the proposed insured ever been treated or advised to be treated for alcoholism, alcohol abuse, including membership AA, or been advised by a physician to reduce alcohol consumption?
No.
Has either of you ever used drugs not prescribed by a physician, such as cocaine, amphetamines, barbiturates, hallucinogens, tranquilizers, narcotics, or sedatives?
No.
Has either of you ever had your driver's license suspended, revoked because of a moving violation, or been arrested, including arrest for driving while intoxicated or under the influence?
No.
Has either of you ever flown within the last 2 years or intended to fly in the future as anything other than a passenger on a scheduled airline?
No.
Has either of you ever participated in the last 2 years or intend to participate in the following activities: auto, motorcycle, or boat racing, parachute jumping, skiing, scuba, or skydiving?
No.
Has either of you ever been advised to take tests and not done so, or not received results, being diagnosed as having received treatment for high blood pressure, chest pain, heart attack, stroke, or any heart or blood or circulatory disorder?
No.
Has either of you ever have been treated for any of the following conditions: diabetes or other endocrine disorder,
No.
paralysis, epilepsy, mental disease, disorder, or any other nervous system or brain disorder?
No.
Has either of you ever had arthritis or injury or trouble with your back, knees, or any of your other joints?
No.
To the best of your knowledge and belief, do you have any physical impairment or departure from good health?
No.
Has any of the proposed insured ever been advised to take tests and not done so, or not received results, been diagnosed as having or received treatment for cancer, tumor, or unexplained masses?
No.
Has either of you ever been rejected for life or medical hospital insurance, rated or failed to receive a policy as applied for?
No.
Has either of you in the past 5 years had a physical examination?
Yes.
Had any medical treatment, includes prescription medications?
No.
Have you been hospitalized in the last 5 years?
No.
Other than your pregnancy, right?
Correct.
Has any of the proposed insured currently a resident in a nursing home or ever been diagnosed as having a terminal illness, including Alzheimer's disease?
No.
Has either of you ever had been treated for any of the following conditions? Asthma, emphysema, sleep apnea, or other respiratory disorder?
No.
Ulcer, colitis, or other digestive tract disorder?
No.
Cirrhosis, hepatitis, or other liver disorder, or any blood disorder, or received a bone marrow transplant?
No.
Kidney, prostate, urinary bladder, or other genital urinary disorder?
No.
Disease of the breast, uterus, or ovaries?
No.
Rheumatoid arthritis or other musculoskeletal disorder?
No.
Loss of hearing or loss of sight?
No.
Acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS, AIDS-related complex, or AIDS-related conditions?
No.
Has either of you ever been tested positive for antibodies to the AIDS HIV virus?
No.
Does either of you smoke cigarettes or use tobacco in any other form?
No.
And has either of you used marijuana in the past year?
No.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm not the underwriter, but from what I can see here, looks like you can qualify. Now, this is the Q&R checklist. It explains how the enrollment process works. We go over it with all of our members. And the first part of the checklist describes that this program is set up on a once-a-month computerized deduction through your banking system. Having it done this way gives you a discounted rate. Your program is only $130 a month, and this can be handled anytime between the 15th and the 28th of the month. What days works best for you?
The 15th is fine.
Okay. And because this is a member-owned program, and once it's issued, it cannot be taken away by American Income or your employer. This is an application process which started with the health in questions.
Okay.
Now, because you guys are non-smokers, there will be an oral specimen that will be provided for you. This is a consent form that ensures the results will be sent to you at your home, and it will be a private in the private case of a positive HIV result. In addition to checking for nicotine use, this quick specimen also tests for various health issues as well as drugs, both legal and illegal. Now, this enrollment process takes anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks long. Okay. Now, if you are accepted, you will receive your policies and a congratulatory letter welcoming you to American Income. If you're denied, you will receive today's deposit back, and you can write to American Income and request why.
Okay.
Okay. Now, obviously, with these benefits, you are conditionally covered from the moment that I walk out your door. So the first bank draft happens immediately within 24 to 48 hours of the application. So your first premium is $135 because it's a $5 application fee. Now, the items that we need to complete this process are going to be your driver's license, your doctor's information, any medicines that you're taking, and your checkbook.
Okay.
Those. Now, the check should be written for $135 and make it out to AIL. Now, if there are any health problems, the company will attempt to approve you anyway by adding a special risk premium. You will be notified if this happens. Now, guys, at some point in everyone's life, they become uninsurable where they can't get insurance. Now, this is usually due to age, health, or their habits. And usually once you're declined for insurance, you typically can't get insurance again. So if you are approved for this process, there's 3 possible outcomes. The first possibility is going to be approved standard. That's the $130 that we talked about today. That's due to minor or no health issues.
Mm-hmm.
And the second possibility puts you anywhere from being in perfect health all the way to the uninsurable line. Now, the people that put this together wanted everybody to have a chance, so they came up with a terminology called special risk. Now, with special risk, you would actually be paying for the same amount as someone with the same health profile. Okay? But the closer you are to uninsurable, obviously, the more the program will be. You think of it like car insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that has a perfect driving record isn't going to pay the same as someone with a bunch of speeding tickets, right?
Right.
Now, the third possibility is what we call the counter offer. This is in place for someone who they would not have insured in the past, and that gives them a last chance to get insurance. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this program comes back any different than what we discussed today, I'll give you a call and let you know.
Okay.
So how does everything feel?
Good.
So if there are any health problems, the company will attempt to prove you anyway, as I said earlier. Now, you may receive 1 or more phone calls asking to review the questions that I've asked you today. It's just like a survey when you purchase a new car. It should only take about 4 to 5 minutes. They may ask for a nurse to come out and ask you some medical questions and either a blood or a urine specimen. This is at no cost to you and at your convenience. And they may be requesting some medical records